Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Medical Classes by Dr. Srinidhi Kumar Acharya. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also please give your valuable comments. You can also visit the playlist. In the playlist, I have provided almost all the topics in a very systematic order. This is quite convenient for the study. You can make use of it. Thank you very much. Now, we have been discussing about DSD since last so many classes. So again today we will continue with the approach to a case of a DSD. In the last class we have seen examination and all those part. In the last class we have also seen the investigation. Now today we will have some approach. Some portion of the approach we have already covered. Another way of approach. Now the DSD may be a sex chromosome defect, isn't it? So DSD may be because of sex chromosome defect, it may be because of gonadal defect, or it may be because of a hormonal defect, as we have seen already. So DSD may be also because of sex chromosome defect, because sex chromosome is the one which determines the sex actually. In DSD mainly we will have ambiguous genitalia, so which will create a confusion in determination of the sex, isn't it? So even because of some sex chromosomal problems also, so we will have ambiguous genitalia like conditions or virilization, etc. Okay. So one of the main cause for the DSD is also a defect, clear-cut structural defect in the sex chromosome, the last pair. For example, if you look into the problems like Turner syndrome, which is 46X0, okay. So Klinefelter syndrome. So there purely you can find some of the ambiguous genitalia or male-female symptoms, exchange of the symptoms and bodily structure, phenotype of a male having a phenotype of the female and female having a phenotype of the male. So these type problems are quite common in chromosomal defects related to the sex chromosome. Okay, XX and XY. Two examples commonly seen are one is Turner's and Klinefelter syndrome. This is one part. Similarly, because of this sex chromosome defects, we may find some other problems also, which is called as missed gonadal degeneration. Missed gonadal degeneration. What is the meaning of this? One side of the testis, in the one side of the body, in one of the scrotal bag, the testis is there, but in the other side the testis is absent. Instead of that, there will be internal organs and other side there will be ovary. Now this is a very typical conditions, okay, very strange conditions. Therefore, it is called as missed gonadal degeneration. In the one side there is a testis, plus in the other side we will have internal organs of the other sex and also there is ovary. Similarly, third condition is ovotesticular differentiation. This is also because of chromosomal defect, sex chromosomal defect. What is the meaning of this ovotesticular differentiation? That is, both testicular and ovarian tissues are present in the same gonad. Okay, you have got one gonad. In that gonad, so you have got the tissues of both the gonads, like testis and as well as ovary. Of course, this will be understood by the histology. So, in this case, what actually happens is, in this case, karyotype is 70%, that is 46XX, and less than 10% is XY and 20% is mosaic. So this is usually in the third case, ovotesticular differentiation, these two happens. Ovotesticular differentiation, when you see the karyotype is about 70%, in 70% karyotype is 46XX, and about 10% or less than that will be XY, and about 20% is mosaic. Mosaic is mosaic means two types of the cell series in a single fetus, okay, or a single man. That we'll discuss it. So let us see one more problem, DSD XY, genetic chromosomal problems, okay, sex chromosomal problem XY. In this case, genetics is not the cause of the problem. If you see DSD XY, in this particular condition of DSD, actually genetics is not the cause of the problem. The problem will be there with the gonadal development. Genetics is almost all okay. X chromosomes are normally present. There is no any structural defect and all. But the point will be there will be gonadal development is get affected. So Gonadal development is affected means what? It may be structural developmental problems like dysgenesis or regression or ovotesticular degeneration, leading to different types of DSDs. Or it may be gonadal functional problems. Structural problems I have discussed already, like dysgenesis, regression, and ovotesticular degeneration. Similarly, it may be some gonadal functional problems also. What do you mean by gonadal functional problems? Like androgen production. Okay, there is some problem with the androgen production itself, like early steroidogenic pathway or 17 alpha OH deficiency, 3 beta HSD deficiency, 5 alpha reductase deficiency. So they're all actually aromatase deficiency. So these are all the things which leads to androgen production problem. Okay, androgen production itself is not proper. Therefore, function is affected. Another is androgen action problem. Androgen is produced normally. Normal amount of the androgen has been produced, but it is not acting proper. So why it is not acting? Because receptor insensitivity is there. We have already discussed the total or complete receptor insensitivity syndrome will be there. That means these produced hormones are not able to act on the receptors present in the adrenal gland, and as a result the androgens are not produced. There are some other conditions also, like a problem may be there with the anti-Mullerian hormone, like non-secretion and non-action. Sometimes anti-Mullerian hormone has to be produced by the Leydig cells, we know that. Sometimes the anti-Mullerian hormones are not produced by the Leydig cells. So there is production of the Mullerian hormone, and that is therefore there is a proliferation of the Mullerian duct, and that creates the ambiguous genitalia if it is XY, male. We are talking about XY, that means males. In males, what are the things which may happen? Sometimes it is produced but it is not acting. So still Mullerian duct will develop, the internal genital organs of the female will go into develop. Okay. So Mullerian duct will develop, labia majora, minora will go into develop. So therefore there will be ambiguity in the sex, especially in the XY. So these are some of the problems which do occur in case of XY, that is male. Similarly, how to know that testis is there or not? Okay, now clinically, yes, you palpate the gonads, and if it is palpable, it has started its descent from the abdomen to the inguinal ring, and the inguinal ring to the scrotum, as we have described earlier also. The descent of the testis is a big process. First, from the abdomen, it has to come to the inguinal ring. From the inguinal ring, it has to come to the scrotal bag. The first one is mediated by one hormone. The second portion is again mediated by another hormone. Now, so all the hormone like insulin like factors and also the testosterone are normally produced, suppose. Now to see the functionality, we find Mullerian structure. Now if the Mullerian structures are developed, it suggests that anti-Mullerian hormone is not secreted, isn't it? So that means Sertoli cells are not functioning. Sertoli cells, not the Leydig cells, as I told earlier, the Sertoli cells are not functioning. And if there is no Mullerian structures, it suggests that Sertoli cells are not there. It means that the Sertoli cells are not there. Now suppose if there is no Mullerian structure, that means there is no anti-Mullerian hormone. That means that there is no Sertoli cells at all, because anti-Mullerian hormones are produced from Sertoli cells. So then we have to go for SCG test, SCG stimulation test. If it results in increased testosterone, after giving SCG test, if it results in increased testosterone, it suggests that Leydig cells are present, because Leydig cells, they will produce the testosterone. So it suggests that the Leydig cells are present. Now, complete gonadal dysgenesis. There is one more condition which is called as complete gonadal dysgenesis. That is Swayer's syndrome. It's also called as Swayer's syndrome. For example, genetics is 46XY, that is male. The problem is testis is not properly get differentiated. So there is no Sertoli cells and Leydig cells. Although it is a male, the testis is not properly get differentiated. So there is no proper formation of the Sertoli cells and Leydig cells. As a result, there is no production of anti-Mullerian hormone and no production of dihydrotestosterone. Okay, everything is normal here, but unfortunately Sertoli and Leydig cells are not present, or they are not differentiated, so they are not in a position to produce the anti-Mullerian hormone and as well as dihydrotestosterone. So there will be development of the Mullerian structures. He is male actually. Actually the child is male, but because of these two cells are absent because of improper differentiation, there is formation of the Mullerian, proliferation of the Mullerian duct, and there is production of the Mullerian structures, that is internal genital structures of the female organs. Although he is a male, there will be internal genital structures of the female child, and there is no Wolffian duct. There is no formation of Wolffian duct, so there is no testosterone production. So there is no external and internal male organs. See, this is called complete gonadal dysgenesis. Okay, because of the absence of the Sertoli and Leydig cells, there is no formation of the anti-Mullerian hormone, and as a result, he will going to develop the Mullerian structure, and Mullerian structures will be derived like internal genital organs of the female. In the meantime, there is no production of the testosterone. When there is no production of the testosterone, there is no production of the dihydrotestosterone. As a result, there is no production of the internal and as well as external genital structures of the male. Although it is XY. So now this is called as complete gonadal dysgenesis. Okay. So the baby at birth will be diagnosed as female. So this baby will be diagnosed as a female at the time of the birth. Okay. But what happens when this baby go to the puberty, reaches the puberty? Then they come to know that there is no menstruation taking place. There is no menstruation taking place. So child is looking like female, but there is no menstruation taking place. But then you see actually it is a male with the hypogonadal or dysgonadal testis. I hope you understand. Okay, so many times this problem clearly understood at the time of the puberty. At the time of the birth, there is no internal and external organs related to the male, so child is diagnosed as female, named as female, although it is XY. Okay. But the problem starts actually when it reaches a puberty. So everybody believes that it is female. But when it reaches a puberty, what happens is there is no menstruation has started because the hormonal axis is not there for that. Okay, it's complete gonadal dysgenesis. So then you come to know that actually it is male and with hypogonadal or dysgonadal testis. Okay. So this is one important problem. In the next class, we will look into some of the very important thing, that is androgen defect. So far, we have not talked about the androgen defect. We are only talking about the testosterone, dihydrotestosterone, etc. And now we will go to talk about androgen defects, which opens a new chapter in this DSD. Thank you very much. In the next class, again, we will meet. Again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also